What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, people? Yo, it's the first live stream of yours truly, and I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yeah, we starting out struggling. Hey, man, we gotta crawl before we walk. You know what I'm saying? So I figured I'll try this live thing out. Live streaming and all. I do in the future, or I will in the future. Let me say, gonna be doing a bunch of live stream. Yeah, it's funny because I make content around like I started making content around, you know, doing reactions to people live stream, and eventually I'm gonna be one of them live streamers. So listen, like I said, we gotta crawl before we walk, and I am definitely crawling at this moment because there's a lot of things that I'm like, man, I'm kind of like learning on the fly, you know, and I wanted to do a live stream. So listen, anybody hop in and want to chop it up, I'm definitely here and definitely ready to answer any questions. Um, yeah, I just want to make this super informal and just super, relax and chill, because that's what it's all about, man. Excuse me. Things got things ain't got to be so uptight, I'm really chill in real life. I know a lot of people kind of switch up their personalities when they get on social media or when they get on the internet. What you see is what you get, man. I'm just I'm just a Jamaican guy that's living in America that loves football, just like everybody else. Obviously, if you tune into my channel or came across my channel in some way, some format, that's me in the simplest of forms, man. There is so many things that I can speak on, but I rather you the viewers ask me. And obviously, it's funny that everyday YouTubers, don't ask me why I put that in quotations, but yeah, YouTubers, they get on and they're literally just speaking to themselves, just so happen to hit record on a camera, and then hopefully, you refresh your page every 2 minutes to see if anybody saw it. And once you see two or three people, you get kind of nervous because you're like, oh man, who saw it? Did they like it? And then you come to realize is that those two or three viewers was yourself because you're the one that watch it. It's so funny, man. This whole YouTube thing is just a funny thing. I'm literally right now, right? Literally in my spare bedroom of my house, talking to myself. Basically, I'm literally in the spare bedroom of my house talking to myself. And like I said, the camera just so happened to be on and record is on. And I know whoever sees this is gonna see this back on replay, and a few months or years from now, I'm gonna leave this up, man. This is gonna be a gem. I know for sure. This is gonna be a piece in the future. We're gonna all look back at this and be like, "Yo, you remember when you had 200 plus subscribers and you were doing your first live stream and nobody was watching that ish." And you just kept on rambling, man. That's what's so funny. It's funny because I got a soundboard, everything. I got like a whole setup. Not a whole like professional setup, but a little bit of a quick story, man. Just to go back into time. I remember I bought, typical, wanted to do YouTube. Always saw myself doing it. I just knew that it was something that kind of like aligns with my personality per se. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm an impulse buyer at times, admittedly. So I bought like a soundboard, I bought lights, I bought a microphone. Obviously, the camera came later. I was just shooting on my phone before, and for a little bit of a time, I kind of like sat all of this down, man. These things were just catching dust, wasn't doing anything. Um, I have a other channel, by the way, if you don't know. It's my name, Alan Gill TV, Reacts. I had to change it to Reacts. I'll tell you the story about that channel a little bit further down the road. But for now, I want to keep the focus on this channel because I really do want to grow this channel. My other channel, yes, I do care about it. Of course, it is still my channel, but this is the channel that I really am gonna hold dear to my heart because it's my beloved football, man. It's literally the thing that I am most passionate about. People talk about what are your passions in life. You have to find your passion, find your purpose. And really and truly, football is my passion and my purpose, man. I just remember playing football from literally, I've known myself growing up in Jamaica. If you know Jamaicans, that's our national sport. So, yeah, man, I remember running around, in Batman and Spider-Man undies and, kicking a box. We had like them little carton box. We used to stuff it with paper because we ain't have money for a real ball. That was for rich people. So we used to stuff a carton box with paper, and that's what we used to kick around as our ball. So that's my story, man. We were growing up in Jamaica. That's how you had to like, make do because it was just so funny. Obviously, getting a little bit older and then going to like prep school. And then that's when, we had like what's called PE. I don't know what y'all call it where you from, but yeah, we call it PE. So playing PE, of course the school has balls now, so balls. And I started to get to play with the real ball. But before, man, yo, it was a struggle, man. We used to play with, I just think about it, man. Growing up in Jamaica, we used to play with carton box stuffed with paper. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first, I guess, journey or first exposure to football. And yeah, it just, like I said, from I can remember myself. I've been playing. Um, I was all right, you know. I was that player because I don't really play as much as I want now. Um, Injuries and yeah, personal life. But I don't play as much as I want now. But back when I used to play, of course, heavy. Um, Played all through prep school. Played in high school for a little bit. Then I moved to America. Played then in high school. I've always got the title of man. You have so much talent. No, you have so much talent if you can just hone in on it and really buckle down. I've always got the like, yo, you literally can take this to the next level. But you're just lazy and you don't train as hard. And at the time, I used to just get by with just I was a speedster back then, so I used to just get by on like, oh yeah, I could just rely on my speed or just rely solely on my athleticism, and that will like take me where I need to go in terms of like football. But it's when I got older, I kind of realized what the coaches were telling me, like, yo, you literally can do big things with this thing if you actually like take it seriously. And I never took it seriously. And I know a lot of people kind of have that story as well because yeah, you just, you know, I guess you could say it's immaturity and also just ignorant, just being a child. Like it's the beauty of growing up. Sometimes you get to realize like the things that you used to do as a child, the things that you thought that was important, the things that used to keep you up at night, i.e., woman or whatever outside influence that you used to thought was the end of the world back then. Now you kind of realize like you just laugh at yourself and just said, man, that's so crazy that I placed so much importance on that back then. And then now I've come to realize, like, yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But yeah, and I'm kind of like jumping topics here. Of course, I didn't have a specific thing that I want to talk about. I was hoping that people would get on. Y'all can ask any questions. I'm an open book. And, you know, whatever you have, like I said, I'm an open book. I know there is this like notion or there this thought process behind a quote unquote American, you know, watching soccer or watching, well, I call it football because I'm Jamaican, but being here also in America, I do call it soccer, just to assimilate or just to make things easier because football is already a popular sport. It is the most popular sport here in America, American football, that is. So, me saying football could confuse others to what I'm really talking about. So, yeah, I do switch it up, but more times than not, I do say football still because that's how I grew up and that's how I called it all my life until I moved to America. So, yeah, I don't want to make this too long and drawn out though. I do. If anybody want to hop on and chop it up, like I said, I am here. You know, I think the biggest thing is we can just start talking about football and in general. Or whatever life in general. But I do understand that also me not having a big following and me not my live stream is whoever is here, so for the meantime I think what I'm gonna do is probably try to do something that won't get my channel flagged for say copyright. Bear with me here, people. Bear with me here, people. Nah, what's funny though, like watching, of course I watch like YouTube videos how to go live, or what are the best strategies, whatever, obviously just trying to familiarize myself with doing this. And literally everybody says that be prepared, don't just start your live and then just randomly just sit there. And it's almost like that went through one ears and came through the other, because that's exactly what I did. I was like, yo, let's go live, man. F it. Why not? you know, that's stubborn, man. That I've always been like that, and I do hope to one day change, but it is what it is for now, man. Somebody like it, or somebody will at least accept me one day for it. But for now, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let me think of like I said, I wanna find something to watch. I just don't want to get flagged. I'm not gonna watch nothing crazy that gonna get this hit with a copyright or something. I do want to find something to watch though. Let me see. I'm like looking for something to watch. No, I'm gonna share my screen. Share my screen with y'all real quick. I'm gonna see. We gonna let's binge watch some. Watch like Troops. or like AFTV. Hey, nah, you know what? I'm actually, yo, I'm gonna share my screen. You know what we go watch? We go watch my man Lee Gunner. Lee Judges. We gonna watch my man Lee Gunner, man. We can both watch some Lee Gunner and talk crap about. Nah, I ain't gonna talk crap about Lee Gunner. You know what? I don't mind Lee Gunner, man. Very angry man. Very, very angry man, but I actually don't mind him. I think for the most part, Lee Gunner is probably one of the biggest trolls on YouTube, and people fall for it all the time. All right, let's see what this talk about. Soccer in California. All right, yes. I ain't gonna lie, it's probably messed up, and I don't know what it does. It probably does messes up people like.
Where's he? Again,
like watch
international
time,
break is upon us.
I can't be watching.
Players are dropping like flies. 29 is the latest one to put out. For Germany, he's apparently injured, got a knee injury. But we are going to have a little debate over Calafiori and whether he's actually any good, and whether he should be playing as centre back or at left back. We're going to have a little chat about Saka as well, because the Saka love fest is funny, I can't lie. And anybody who calls it out is seen as either racially motivated or got an agenda. So we're going to go through that as well. Anything else the lads want to speak about, we can chat about as well. Smash the likes up. I love their links in the pinned in a second. But how are you, lads? How are we? All good? Good. All good.
Yeah. All good. You know, I was at the game on I'd say I'll make it all over because
hey, real quick though, I've always noticed like Southern Gooner, fellow American here, yo, his camera setup, man, I need to hit him up. Like, you could put me on game, bro. Like his camera, I think I heard him say it before, like he is a professional photographer. Like his day job, that's his day job. So I mean, that does kind of make sense in terms of like he knows the specific settings. But yo, I've been messing with my camera, man. My camera is like a little beginner camera. Ain't nothing too crazy about it or nothing super special. But I'm like, yo, I've been playing with these settings for like a while, watching plenty of videos. Every video that I watch ain't really been telling me the exact thing that I wanted to tell me. So it's been trial and error. And quite frankly, I don't even know how the stream is going so far, just because, like I said, it's just trial and error, man. But hey, let's get into it.
I played the football tournament in South Ruislip, West London. I was in goal. My team got two semi-finals. So we didn't have any medals to show for it. I got a lot of pain. Like I was in goal. So it was just.
Can you see yourself in goal?
Before anyone else, yes, I can get down and get up pretty quick in goal, because it was 5-a-side. I still got it, but you got to have the defence range. But in terms of like the game, we're going to get to it anyway. The game on Saturday was an example of what we've been saying all the season, is that teams play better against us at the Emirates Stadium as opposed to at their own grounds, because we're more compact. You know, away from home, we are perhaps at home where the others on us are attack. So teams will have that sort of period where they do get in amongst us, and that one day a team's going to take their chances. And I'm not talking about Liverpool, Man City, maybe Man United, or Spurs or Newcastle. I'm talking about teams who are probably in the what you consider to be the bottom half of the table. So, for instance, we got the game against Nottingham Forest.
I feel like that's everybody though. Like everybody is gonna have that one result that is gonna be, a slap in the face. You're not expecting it. I think real talk, barring the invincible season, like, and even then there was like some luck involved in that. So it's almost like preaching to the choir, but I get it. Sometimes it's a podcast. You got to kind of like stretch topics. So, yeah.
On the 23rd of November. Now, you and I know Nottingham Forest play a very low block, and they'll make themselves very difficult to beat, but they will have a spell, and they do have the pace on each side to hurt us in terms of like Malanga, Hudson-Odoi, and
Real talk though, I'm not gonna watch this all the way. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's no knock on these guys. Yeah, I just don't have the bandwidth or the mental capacity to sit through a whole hour of a podcast of just, yeah. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Then I would 100% say that could be a banana skin where if they get it together and get their act together, our habit of letting teams have a period in the Emirates Stadium will backfire on us. It'll be one of those teams, and not the Forest or Fulham. When we don't expect it, bang, they get their stuff together. They defend for their lives because they're quite good at it, and then boom, that's where the titles can be lost.
Yeah, 100%. We see that last season. Aston Villa, West Ham, both beat us at home. Both scored twice. We didn't score, and the rest is history. Let me just grab this super chat and then we'll start. Yeah, big ups everyone locks in. There's 75 likes on the video at the minute. 334 inside. So come on, let's get these likes up. Send me a direct shot to my second say, cool. Well, he's welcome to come on here afterwards. We can have a debate, which I offered yesterday with him, with Goldfish, with Jennings, Hussam, Judge Mo, and Henry Talks Bollocks. Any of them six want to come on this channel for this podcast, I invited them all yesterday. Ain't heard from anyone. Funny that, ain't it? Because apparently everyone keeps telling us how scary and dangerous our club are. They obviously ain't been watching the games. Every time, and then this, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to shut up about it, yeah? Right, but every time Arsenal win a game, the hype is through the roof, right? Which is great. We win the game, cool. The way we won that game at the weekend, or that game in general, was shambolic. Yeah, cool, enjoy the win, fantastic. That first half was a disgrace. Yeah, the second half weren't much better. Yeah, let's be real with it, because if Raya had on another day, Raya flaps at that corner, that goes in. Then it's 2-2. They did the post just before to get the corner for that. Yeah, so on another...
I ain't gonna lie. So I didn't think it was like a scintillating performance and everybody was gonna be up in arms and celebrating what a great win that was. But I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest. I didn't think it was that bad. I think, yeah, on another day it could be 2-2, but even when they scored, and maybe it's a little bit of arrogance or borderline delusion, but I was chill, man. I was like, okay, they got one. Sometimes you get hit in a boxing match as well. They got their hit, they got their lick, and it's not for us to tighten up and clamp down, sit down on our punches. I didn't think even after they scored that we were gonna lose that game. The very least a draw, but I didn't think we were gonna lose at any point. The way that we came out in the first half meant and showed that we should have won that game, and the scoreline was reflective of that. So, yeah, with what he's saying now, and I don't listen. Everybody has their own opinion, and everybody has their own lens. Sometimes we can make opinions, and then the stats can back us up, or vice versa. We can make opinions, and the stat debunks said opinions. And there's a reason why they're opinions. The only thing that's factual per se is if somebody scored, assisted, or won the game. And there's of course other factual stuff as well, but I'm not going to break down all of it. But yeah, for the most part, I didn't think it was that bad of a game. And let's see, if you want to be mad, like I tell you, man, I think Lee Gunner is in the same category as Donald Trump. And I'm using Donald Trump because I live here in America. So the greatest trolls on this side of heaven. Like, I'm telling you, man, Lee Gunner is a troll, and all of you fall for it all the time. He literally baits you guys into, boosting his engagements, boosting his posts every time he posts, and listen, I'm this is not me taking a shot. I'm not knocking him, of course. Listen, we're in a YouTube game. Like, the game is to get views and to have people engage on said videos that you put out. So I'm not knocking him, and actually it makes me have a little bit more respect for him if you want to keep it a buck. But like I said, y'all fall for the bait all the time, and it's so funny because he's literally like, I'm sure he says something that he's like, I don't really believe it, but F it. I know that the comment section about to blow up. It's gonna help my engagements. F it. I'm still gonna post. Hit send. And then lo and behold, here you snowflakes coming through. Like, oh my God, can't believe he said that. Secret Spurs fan. Even if he was, like, you know what I'm saying? Who cares? Like, and that's why I said it the other day on my video. Y'all go check out my video to see what I said. Even though I'm about to tell you what I said. Is that I literally don't understand the vitriol. And yes, I do admit that that could be a little bit of ignorance because I'm not there in England and I'm not there in London. So I don't understand the true nature of the rival between Tottenham and me growing up in a foreign country, i.e. Jamaica. I never met a Tottenham fan. You know what I'm saying? So I only had United, Liverpool, and Chelsea fans. Yeah. I'm old enough where back then City wasn't even a damn tick on your ass. You know what I mean? So yeah, those were my three rivals. Chelsea, United, Liverpool. I knew of Tottenham being Arsenal rivals from watching TV, but I didn't know, the true nature of the hatred, the true hatred behind it. So for me, it was almost like, and then I moved to America, kind of jumping here a little bit, but bear with me. I moved to America, and then that's when I started meeting Tottenham fans. And every time I've met a Tottenham fan, I literally go to like the number one question, the direct question. I'm like, where are you from? Because then I'm like, okay, maybe you're from that area or your family's from that area. So that does make sense. It's loyalty. I get it. You can't help that. That's where you were born. You know what I'm saying? And then when it's like some bogus excuse, like, typical American stuff sometimes. It's like, I like the jersey or so-and-so played for them. So that kind of made me chose them as a team. One time I met somebody that he was like from San Antonio. I don't know if you know about NBA, but there's a San Antonio Spurs. So he was like, oh, there's another Spurs team. So I'm going to follow them as well. Listen, whatever the reason is, I've always been fascinated, and I'm like, wow, I don't think you know what you signed up for, but all right, that's cool. It is what it is, So, yeah, I've never like took them seriously. Like, let me just keep it real. I've never took Tottenham fans seriously, and like I said, I'm not there, so I don't know the true hatred and the true rivalry in terms of its true core, the true, like, yeah, you my neighbor or you my brother or you my cousin, whatever, but it's like a true division between us, So yeah, if it turns out, the point I was trying to make, long story short, the point I was trying to make is, if it turns out that he's a Tottenham fan, like, yeah, it's even better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that even proves my point more, that he's even bigger of a troll if he's really a Tottenham fan, as some people like to claim. But honestly, I think the man is a very passionate person. And, also it doesn't help that he's getting older. I've noticed it in myself, and I'm not even that old, but I noticed it in myself. Like, the older I get, the more annoyed I get by younger people. And that's partly due to maturing. Yeah. In a nutshell. So yeah, literally just rambled for like a good 5 minutes or so. So yeah, let's get back into this.
The day that ends 2-2, and people are out saying champions win. Saka magnificent. Saka was awful. But he got the goal and he got 2 assists. Well done. Fantastic.
That's kind of wild. I don't know about horrible, but golly, bro. Listen, man, I don't know what stats or what criteria, if it's a straight up like eye test, but yeah, I don't know about horrible, but all right, man, it's your opinion. So go on with your bad self.
Yeah, but let's not pretend he had a good game. But then people say, well, if you get out, but they've had a good game. Bollocks. Absolute rubbish. Yeah, how many GA does Jack Grealish have? How many goals does he have in his career? Probably about 55, 60 in his entire career. Yeah, does that mean he's a bad player then? He's a totally bang average, non-existent footballer. Load of rubbish. These stats are rubbish, mate. Yeah, I'm sick to death of people that don't support our football club telling us how great our football club is when we're watching it day in, day out, every single fucking day of the year. Yeah, I'm sick to death of it. This club is on a 4.5-year trophy drought. Yeah, West Ham's Liverpool are sat top of the league. Yeah, Jennings Chelsea are playing good football. Yeah, Goldbitch wants his manager sacked now after telling the Arteta the vocal minority. Do you remember that crap a few months ago? Yeah. Tottenham is shit and always have been, so we have to latch onto our club. Yeah, which is kind of embarrassing. And then you've got Terry sitting on his show the other day saying that it's all right to sack 3 managers a season now. When he was telling me for 2.5 years, I was wrong for wanting Arteta out. Yeah, and let's not forget this. I'm going to say this one thing, I'm shutting up. Yeah, let's not forget this, yeah. Out of all of them clubs that they support, them 6, yeah, only one ain't won anything. Yeah, and that's Tottenham because they never win anything. Every single one of their clubs has won something more recently than us. So why the fuck are Arsenal so scary then? Yeah, why do they all want their managers sacked? Why do they all want their managers gone? Why do they all cuss their players out? But when it's us, we're not allowed to do it. Ah, fuck off, man. Yeah, any one of them can come on the show. I told them that, but they didn't want to. So we're not.
The answer, like Lee, you answer your question within the comments you just made. You know, you've been on shows with all the people you've called out. And you'll know for yourself that the views they get on their channel when you're on there is a lot higher than it is for other shows. I've always said that whenever we play Chelsea, the views on their channel goes up in all their outlets because it's Arsenal. The same with the main up because at the end of the day, there's an affiliation between the YouTubers of all the clubs. A lot of them don't even live near the clubs they support. There's for instance, I say it respectfully, there's a lot of London mates, London Reeds, they all live together, they all go to the same like award ceremonies, and most importantly, they all work for the same person who runs the Arsenal channel. You know, if you want to call him by his name, I'll call him Don King. I won't tell you why I call him Don King.
No way.
I won't call him Don King, but I've always said,
funny, Kenny.
I've always said Don King talks black, lives white, thinks green. And I'll leave it at that.
You crazy. You crazy.
And I'll leave it at that. If anyone could tell me that's not true, I'd defy them. I'd debate that all day. The facts of the matter is, if you talk about Arsenal equals views equals recognition equals contracts equals money equals the ability to leave your job, your mundane job, to do a job, and earn a lot of money doing it, i.e. extending your 15 minutes of fame. And I'll leave it at that.
I think we might as well end the show now.
Yeah, I'm glad Kenny said this bit. I'm glad he said that, mate. Yeah. Imagine if I said that. Anyway, real talk, yeah. All right, we can all agree that Bukayo Saka's a decent player. Yeah, he's a decent player. Yeah, and he gets a lot of goals and a lot of assists. Cool, that's fantastic. But the way that everyone's hyping this up like he had an amazing game at the weekend, I had enough of it. That's why I've said something. It's like he didn't have an amazing game at the weekend. He's had a lot of games this season where he's been non-existent. Yeah, and then he pops up with an assist at the end of the game off a corner, or like the one for 29 the other day. But like when these people are using stats to make out a player is amazing, I'm sorry, mate, you've lost the argument. Yeah, because if we're going off of stats, then Harry Kane's better than Maradona because he scored more goals than him, so he's a better player than, isn't he? Is this what we're doing now? Yeah, at the end of the day, we all like Saka.
I mean, it's debatable.
We all think he's a good player. Yeah, but he's good at what he does. And what he does is a quick 1-2 with Odegaard. Yeah, and he can whip a ball in every now and again. and he can whip that shot. Yeah, let's not pretend that he's taking on 5 players, sitting them all on their bums every week, and then like ball rolling the keeper and that, because it's what they're going on. And that's not.
I said that the other day as well too. I said Saka and Havertz as well too are simple players, man. Are simple players. They're not the flair players. They're not players that are gonna be majestic in terms of like the Neymars and the Ronaldinos of this world. But I've also said that, I'll take a Saka any day of the week over Anthony. And I'm not picking on Anthony just because he's been a flop at Man U. It's, if you watch Anthony's compilation on YouTube, shoot, I ain't even gonna front. Even I was like, Lee, he's straight. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, they getting a little player here, you know? So I'm not even going front, like, on paper, or let me say on video, i.e. YouTube, Anthony looked like damn top 5 in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I know that's the beauty of editing and putting compilations together, but yeah. But Saka is boring, man, in terms of like his playing style, and that's okay. I'm not saying boring as in it's to be taken as a diss. I'm just saying boring as in like, he does simple stuff, keeps it simple. I saw, just scrolling on YouTube, I saw like, I didn't even watch the video to be honest, but maybe we can check it out after this. But I saw a video where it was like a caller called into TalkSport and was saying like Saka is bang average, and I just read the little description. Like I said, I didn't watch the video, but if I'm gonna keep it real, like I could see that, like I really could. Like I'm not even trying to be funny or just trying to stir the pot just to stir it, but I could see somebody coming to that conclusion, like, he's just an average person, because like, he does step overs and he does like little stuff here and there, and he definitely beats people. So, not to say that he doesn't, do things that he needs to do as a winger, but average players can do that. Like amateur me can do that. I'm not trying to, not one of those people that are like, you think you can play ball in a professional level? Obviously not, because I would have made it as a professional. But I'm saying I can do the things that Saka does in terms of like step overs. But here's the key as well, though. This is where the big key and the big but comes in. Saka is playing up against world-class players. I'm not going to say week in, week out, but for the most part of his career, he's been up against world-class players, right? In the opposite positions, and has done well. And that's what I was talking about. Yeah, Saka may look average, but the thing that makes a player average is that 1 week he can be an 8, 1 week he can be a 4, then you might get the average 5, 6. Then 1 week he's a 2, one or maybe twice out of the whole season he gives you a 9. That's what average players do. They're very, it's volatile. A player like Saka now, even with his average moves, is consistently a 6, 7, 8. Consistently above average to great. Of course, he's human. He's gonna drop a 3 once. So on the flip side, where I was like, the average player has that 9 or whatever, maybe their ceiling is really an 8, once or twice a season. Saka is in the reverse. He has that 2 or 3 once or twice a season. But for the most part, he's consistently giving you a 6. Bare minimum, which is above average. The guy's consistent. And that's the point that why I said, y'all, I'm not trying to shamelessly plug my video, but y'all go watch it out and check it out and leave it in the comments what you think. But that's why I said that Arteta keeps on picking him, because the kid is consistent. He's not a kid anymore, but you know what I mean. The young man is consistent. He's a consistent player. And that is like the number one thing that a coach can ask of you. He asks you to do things that he believes are within your capabilities, of course. Not going to have average going goal because he's not a goalkeeper. So you get what I'm saying? It's within the player's parameters. The coach is going to ask you to do things that he believes you can do. And then the next thing that he asks of you is that, yes, you do the things that he asks you to do and do it on a consistent basis. And once you do it on a consistent basis, that's when he picks you repeatedly and repeatedly. And that's the reason why people are like, why Arteta keep on picking Saka? That's because the freaking kid, young man, is consistent. And now Havertz is going into that realm as well. At least every time he plays up top. Let's be real. Every time he's played up top, and I'll hold my hands up. I'm not the biggest Havertz fan. He's not pretty on the eye. You want to talk about Saka being quote unquote boring. Havertz is just like, he just looks clumsy sometimes. He looks like he's not in control of the ball. It just, he's not a pretty footballer to watch. I'm sorry, he's not. But the guy, when he plays in the forward line, i.e. striker, has been giving us consistent performances. Just being real. Just being real. You can put all your biases aside, put all your hate aside, put everything that I said and others have said as well. That he looks like a donkey and he looks like a giraffe that's been shot or have a wounded leg, and it just, I just don't like watching him play, but the guy has been consistent. All right, let's continue with the video.
Saying that it's hate. Yeah, like one of his titles today. Saka hate has gone too far. And it was basically somebody saying a tweet saying he was bang average, and then a caller phoning in TalkSport is a Chelsea fan saying he's bang average.
Oh yeah,
that's now hate, is it? No, it's not hate.
Clearly, what I was just talking about.
Somebody else's opinion, and he wasn't being hateful. Number one, he was on national radio in England, and number two, the tweet that he showed wasn't being horrible either. He was just saying he's a bang average footballer that ends up stat padding with some GA at the end of the game to hide his horrible performances. What's wrong with what he said? Because that's happened a lot. I'm not saying he's bad, but what he said is spot on. There's so many games where he does that. Yeah, but that's apparently now hate. Yeah, and that's why I'm getting the ump with it, because these men are putting it out there that calling it as it is, or having your opinion on what you're witnessing, is somehow hate. No, it's not. You ain't silencing me, mate. I'll call them out every day by their names. I don't give a shit. You ain't silencing my opinion on it. Yeah. At the end of the day, when it matters, Bukayo Saka ain't there, mate. The same with Odegaard and the same with the rest of this squad. When it comes down to the crunch, these men don't turn up. Bayern Munich, Aston Villa, 2 case in points.
I will say though, a little bit of let's say pushback, but it's my 2 cents on what he just said. I think, in fairness, you have to understand that this is a team that is learning on the job, right? This is a team that has been going down the youth path. Of course, it's their doing, and nobody told them to do that, but it is what it is. Then that's what happened. They went down the youth path, and sometimes, just like how, I use myself as a man, when I hit 30, that's when life kind of like snapped. And I was like, wow, I need to make a move for real. Like in terms of like building something for myself, the 9-to-5 life and the way of the masses in terms of like entering corporate America and, work until, I hit my late 60s and retire and live out my life, that doesn't look like it's the way to go. And I need to buckle down and light a fire up my what and get moving on things that I want to do and achieve. So now coming back into football in sense, it takes a certain age for that to click in as well. Of course, there are people that it didn't take them till 30 to realize that they need to get a move on life and prepare themselves for the future and their future family and what have you. Some people learn that, right out of high school, as soon as they turn 18, 21, and some of us, i.e. myself, recognize that at 30, so the same thing with these footballers, man. Some footballers are really super mature at 17, 18. Jude Bellingham, a name that comes to mind right off the bat. And then some players, it takes them later on into their career for them to really understand, like, what I need to do to be not only a winner, but a professional at the highest order, So I think it's a little bit unfair to put that, pressure, not say pressure, but put that on them in terms of like they fell away at the end. Yes, they did. It's okay to state facts, they did. But also, I don't think it's as black and white as stated. There's context behind it and context around it. And yes, it might sound like a fallback or a panic button excuse, but it is an excuse nevertheless. And I think it's a valid excuse that they were younger and they just merely haven't gained the maturity that they need to push Arsenal over the line as a unit. And it doesn't help that it's like all knuckleheads, let's put it into like parents in terms, like it's literally all kids are trying to go for a title, sprinkling some older heads. So expecting a group of kids, which of course it's not, say it was forced upon the club. The club are the ones that went down that path. But at the end of the day, there were kids. And to expect kids to not be kids is a bit much to ask.
Yeah, we can go back to previous seasons. Top four, we bottled that. Where was Saka in the last 8 games of that season? Yeah, where was Odegaard? Where was everyone else?
20 at the time.
Should we go back to the last season when it really mattered? Where were they? Oh, Man City won the league. Yeah, come on, fuck off, man. I'm sick to death of it. Anyway, what do you guys think?
The thing is, Lee, I've said this before, right? You can make statistics work whichever way you want to make them work, right? There are people experts in doing that. And it's not just in football. Look at the British government. They play with statistics all the sodding time.
Facts.
Go whichever narrative they want to show you. I don't ever get involved with statistics in football or anything else, right? Because we all know if you've done statistics in your education at school, it can be worked whichever way you want to go, the mean, the median, and all that bullshit, right? No. What?
Hold up. I'm just seeing dropping Ben White was a big mistake. He makes Saka game much better. But Timber, not too, I guess he means too bad. Not too bad. Calafiori is suspect at the moment. Ben White was injured, my boy. I don't think he dropped him just to drop him sake. I think he was just injured and he didn't want to risk him, So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that last piece though, it's funny because one of my videos that I put up, I keep referencing my videos and I apologize if it's overkill. But one of my videos that I put up though, somebody was like, I can't believe Arsenal fans are coming at Calafiori. He's been great since he's arrived. And This is my thing sometimes with, I think this is a society on a whole. I use a lot of references that are outside of sports sometimes to make my analogies and try to be more understanding to people who don't understand who I am as a person. So I try to make myself more understandable by using analogies. But people on a whole in society, don't deal well with constructive criticism. I've lived life enough. I haven't been to every parts of the world, but I do notice, especially on the Western side, I've been to enough countries now on the West that I realize that there's a lot of snowflakes. And the instant that and I'm not talking you being malicious and obviously trying to hurt somebody on purpose or trying to, rile somebody up with the intent of riling them up and to get a reaction out of them. I'm talking about you genuinely care for somebody, even if you don't necessarily care for them, but you genuinely like, hey, I think that so-and-so is better. Or in my opinion, I don't agree with you on that point. But your disagreement is not something as, oh, I want to butt heads with you. It's just like, I'm just stating my point. You stated your point. No hard feelings. I'm just letting it be known that I don't agree with you. Now, with that being said, saying Calafiore has been suspect, which I do agree with that. I'm not going to be that person and say that's a fact, because you can use stats to back up what you say if you want to go down the factual route, right? But there's no way, of course, I'm being a bit hyperbolic here. There's no way that you can look at the games that Calafiore has played for us and be 100% in agreement that his defense or his defensive acumen has been up to par. In my opinion, there's not if you've been watching the games and know a little bit about football. I'm sorry. And he hasn't been catastrophic. There could be an argument that he has been, but I wouldn't go as far as say that he was catastrophic or he has been catastrophic. Apart from that Man City game where, him getting cooked led to the first goal for Man City. But we have seen at times, man, where he's like, bro, this part, and I'll try to wrap it up here. This is the part that I'm like, the very least, I think you can say that, you need to slow down a tad bit. Just dial it back a little bit. He's a little bit too hasty on things. He's a little bit too, frantic back there, Just need a little bit of composure, And if you want to keep it a buck, bro, only 22 as well. He's young. You know what I'm saying? He's not even in his prime. He's still like learning. He's probably still on OJT time. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. I've been talking more than a damn podcast. It's like I'm almost using them as my own podcast moment.
I work on is what I see with my two eyes, and I look and I say, he plays shit. That's it.
Yeah.
If I
But then people say that that's just too black and white. You can't just say shit. Add some context to it. Well, you do that while you're sat on your watch-alongs. You do that in your fan cams. You do that on podcasts. Yeah, but just because you throw that word, he was shit today, all of a sudden, you're toxic, that's hate. Fuck off. Yeah, go to a game. Yeah, you'll hear a lot worse at the ground, mate.
It's not hate, right? It's what it is. I know where you're coming from. I'm not, I know where you're coming from. All these people that like to sit there and make out these narratives about, well, he did this in the game, he did that. I've seen so many games of football, great players. I've stood there at Highbury, right, and I said, "Oh, well, he was shit today." And people have gone, "Yeah, he was crap today, wasn't he?" Yeah, he was shit. I've seen Bergkamp play shit games. Vieira, right? David Seaman, Jens Lehmann.
Henri, all of them.
Yeah, they're humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's perfect. Even the great Messi, Ronaldo, Maradona, Pele, you know, all of them have had crappy games.
And I'm like, they've had a crap game today. And that is just being honest. Because I'm watching with my own two eyes and making my own view on it and saying, that's not his level. And I'm sorry, I don't rate Saka that much.
Damn.
He gets away with it at times. And to me, it's last 2 seasons.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a damning statement. But then again, is it really? Because it's almost like, even with, I don't know if anyone is just tuning in, but I said earlier that I really don't like Havertz. I hate to be that person, and obviously I'm just, who am I? You know, I'm just some random guy on YouTube talking about I don't like a person that I literally haven't met. You know, I don't know him from any walks of life. I'm literally just going off of what I see on the screen on Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes Tuesdays or Wednesdays, you know? So I'm just keeping it within the realms of football here, right? But it's just not pleasing to my eyes on the screen. But with that being said, he has been one of our more consistent players for the better half of almost a year now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keeping it real. So even with me saying like, oh yeah, I don't like Havertz, I've honestly never met an Arsenal fan that said that they don't like Saka. I think he's probably one of the more, we're just talking about the person itself. I don't know him as well. I don't know, maybe he puts on a front when the camera's on, but for the most part, we say, yo, it looked like a good guy, man. He looks like one of those guys that, you know, every team has that like lovable person that is your rival, but it's just so hard to hate on you. One person that comes to mind is Son. Son just have that. He just had that personality where even though he's a direct rival, as in he plays for Tottenham, it's just hard to hate on Son. Like, he just seems like a regular guy that just goes about his day. All he just want to do is play football and make that little, make that little celebration that he does. And it's like, what's there to hate on Son with? Conte is another one, you know. That's a lovable guy, man. And I put Saka in that category as well. Like, how do you hate Saka? He's like he literally like a cuddly little kid. And I don't mean it like that. That sounds kind of like creepy in a way, but you really do generally seem like cool people. Like, literally, you could just chop it up, play FIFA with him, you know, not even talk about football. They literally just be somebody you could chop it up about life, you know? So, to hear somebody say from an Arsenal fan base saying that they don't like soccer is, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of wild, but to each his own.
I'm just going to say this. Last 2 seasons, right? Round about March time, February, March, he disappears. Completely disappears because he's knackered, because we overplay him. That's not his fault. Right? But at the end of the day, he just doesn't have that stamina to get through a season. And I blame the club for that, because we haven't got anybody to put there to say, your time. You need a break, mate. Give you a break. Because now, right? He's now gone off on an England international break. Personally, I totally disagree with all this, but it is what it is. This is football. Players sometimes there's a love fest. And when I see a player, I think they're crap. I'll call them the crap. Fact. It's not I'm hating the player. I'm just saying, mate, you're a good player, but today you're crap. I don't get the problem. I don't get the problem with it. I'm sure, right? I'm sure, not that I know, I'm sure there's games where Messi in his prime, right? I know for a fact, watching a game once when a mate of mine was a Man United fan, right? Ronaldo, right? He had a nightmare of a match and he's absolutely shit today.
Messi, when we played when we played Barca in the 2-2 game at the Emirates, when Walcott came off the bench, scared the shit out of him. Scored the pen with a broken leg. That game, Ibra scored both goals, I think. Messi was awful that day, absolutely dog shit. Yeah, and I was gassed to see him, so I was like, "Yo, hopefully we can do him." And I get to see Messi play today, live. Yeah, and he was awful. Yeah, I was out there. I was fucking gutted. I was like, "Yeah, fucking got the draw. Happy days. We got the draw." And then we took the lead, and then obviously, you know what happened after that? Messi then scored 4 goals. But yeah, he was crap. But this is the thing, yeah. When you've
all right, wanted him to finish that quick point, but I think at the end of the day, each is his own, man. Like, I don't think it's that serious, to be honest with you. You like who you like, you don't like who you like. It don't matter. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But not that I was on a pitch count, but I was hoping that people would pop in and you know, chop it up, but no one showed. And that's fine, you know. It's the first one, the first of many. Like I said, this is never coming down. This is always gonna be up. So we're gonna look back at this, however long we gonna take to look back at it and remember this day. All right. So I'm gonna sign out. It's literally past my bedtime here, so I'm gonna sign out and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Until next time, mi gente. Easy, no man.